Café con Gas. I'm really excited to be here with you this evening, and there's a line outside. I'm not sure what's going on next door, but there's a concert at Naga apparently. Not sure what's happening. I should know what's going on with my neighbors. So welcome to tonight's episode of Café con Gas. We are live in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Café con Gas is part of Be Live programming, which is live programming that's community-based. CCTV is an awesome space where you can, create a show, come learn about media, and I just love it because it's a space that complements my school life, my professional life. It's just somewhere I can use free speech and bring you some exciting things. So come back, Café con Gas. I'm just gonna bring this up. So we're a program that's like live on Sundays on healing, arts, and diversity with occasional guests. I'm really excited tonight. I decided tonight to do a little bit of a different vibe. We're gonna bring some songs, some boleros, but tonight we're gonna start with, the name of Healing Arts and Diversity. I've been really looking to music and really just having so I've been really looking to music, and I wanted to bring you something. It's Dusty, It's Time, from their Jazz and Milk album. It's really, really wonderful. I'm going to bring this to you before tonight's emotional check-in because I wanted to just play something for you guys, get you in the rhythm. Today was really exciting because it was warm out. We're at the end of February. New Englanders are abuzz, waiting for spring. So I hope you enjoy this track. And again, thanks for tuning in to Café con Gas. It's by Jazz Milk Recordings. I can play it like a little bit more in the background, but they are just a really fantastic band. And I wanted to bring you something a little bit different to knock off today's episode of Café con Gas. Usually we start with an emotional check-in, but also part of my emotional check-in has just been finding different ways to express myself, particularly through music and dance. And I thought this track was really great. It mixed a little bit of jazz with that like mambo style, and something that actually I saw on a friend of the Facebook page of a friend of mine. She said, embrace amateurism. A lot of us think that we don't dance because we started as children, but embrace that aspect of you. Do something different. Just try something new. So yeah, tonight's emotional check-in. All right, so something that I always do on Café con Gas is a little bit, is an emotional check-in. Emotional check-in is a way to just pretty much ask yourself, how am I feeling today? Am I practicing compassion? Do I feel like crap? If I feel like crap, how can we really embrace this? So tonight's emotional check-in, I would have to say, let's fade out. I'm feeling a little bit hysterical in a good way. I have a lot of work. I'm feeling really happy, and I'm feeling a little bit cautious. I basically am feeling cautious because things are going really well, and I don't know if you can relate. When things are going well, I actually get a little bit more nervous. When things are going bad, I always kind of just jump up and spring to action, but I also have to make time to learn and make time for myself and to learn more about myself. All right, so tonight I'm really excited. So in the name of healing, arts, and diversity, something that I always talk about, what is healing? Healing is to mend, to make whole. So healing is a really individual process. One of the reasons why I come and talk about healing is because I don't think we talk about it enough in mainstream news. We really focus on violence, and particularly now, if I open up my Facebook feed, we're really focusing on Trump and a lot of hate rhetoric and hate speech. So I'm trying to focus on something different, which is healing. So healing for me, it comes in different forms, and tonight it came in a little bit of another form. In the name of healing, I brought you this clip. This is actually from a documentary film. It's a YouTube site called Nature Documentary. It's a fantastic documentary, and it's about a zoologist who goes and he observes a pack of wolves, and then one of the wolves gets sick. So in turn, he hires this he calls this zoologist to come and help him with this wolf tribe. They ended up coming, spoiler alert, she ends up coming, and the scientist and her end up falling in love by watching these wolves. So I actually want to bring this up in the name of healing, art, diversity, pretty much as a documentary review. For any of you who are looking for something to watch besides what's offered on Netflix, I would really, really recommend this. I know there's a lot of good TV on. Scandal came back on, How to Get Away with Murder, Grey's Anatomy, but I feel a lot of those programs, they're really, really wonderful, but like sometimes I'm like, Shonda Rhimes, why do you have to be playing with my emotions like that? They're a little bit hard to watch sometimes because they're so up and down roller coaster. So I'm bringing this documentary here on Café con Gas in the spirit. This is basically in the PBS spirit. I'm going to play the first couple of clips, and it's this really incredible documentary. So again, this is I give this Living with Wolves documentary 4 stars. I don't know if it's a 4 out of 4 like IMDb rating, maybe like an 85% because there's some points that I dozed off a little bit, but essentially the story, it just goes through the nature of the wolf pack, which I found really interesting, and how these wolves have these really social, a real deep social nature to them. And the wolves, they self-select between there's alpha, there's the beta that actually like plays the teacher role, there's the omega who's the bottom of the pack and always gets picked on, but actually is really cared for by the group. So it's really surprising. And then also embedded is this love story between these documentary filmmakers. So I hope you enjoy this clip, and I hope you check out the full documentary on YouTube. So I'm going to bring this up. Little Café con Gas cinematic suggestion.
In forested wilds beyond civilization, one special creature has long haunted humanity. The wolf has lurked in our imaginations as the very spirit of wilderness mystique and menace. In 1990, filmmaker Jim Dutcher set out to capture the first portrait of the hidden private life of a pack of wolves. He was joined by a fellow naturalist, and the two lived with a pack of untamed wolves for 6 years in the Sawtooth Mountains of Idaho. and Jamie Dutcher had begun as friends. But the story of wolves also became a story of two people drawn together by a love for wildlife. The pack they studied proved far different from the demons of ancient myth. Rather, they were animals devoted to one another, capable of affection and bonds resembling those of human families. Through Dutcher's films, they gained fame as the Sawtooth Pack, ambassadors to a human world still fearful of wolves. Their story leads to both hope and heartache. Some wolves would survive, some would die. But the Sawtooth Pack gave us a new understanding of wolves. This is a story that may never happen again, of two people living with wolves. What they encountered was beyond their greatest expectations.
I just watched that and it just brought me back to this time, this really simple time in life where like National Geographic was amazing. And then you like go to the clip and it's like they're in the middle, there's like, and then the couple met together and they lived in isolation for 6 years. I mean, it's just incredible. It's a really heartwarming film. Again, it's a really great combination of totally nerdy and also inspirational. And again, this like, I just wanted, when it said it was a once in a lifetime experience, I just wanted to like stop the clip there and do that. So yes, in the name of healing arts and diversity, this is a really great film that shows about the diversity of the planet and wolves who at the time they were making this film, I believe they were about 30 and they witnessed like the first birth of wolves in about 50 years. So it was really incredible. And also, again, just the organization of the wolf tribe going between the alpha, the omega, the betas. I was just really intrigued. There's one point where the alpha just takes a step back and the betas are beating each other up, and the whole, the alpha doesn't do anything because he's trying to see the pecking order of the omegas. Let's just say, look, I go to Harvard and I watched that film and I was like, whoo, I can see how human nature also tries to arrange themselves based on their ego and alpha, beta, omega status. So check that out. I prepared something for you guys this evening. I'm going to try something a little bit different. So on Café con Gas, I share resources, I bring up stories, I show you videos, different pieces of culture, different new things. And sometimes I talk about my own experience. So I talk about my own experience with healing. And tonight, drum roll, the wolves were a great segue to a little thing that I call Café con Gas y Pensamientos. So Café con Gas thoughts. I was talking with a girlfriend this evening and I'm gonna get a little bit, there you go. I'm gonna get a little bit closer to you guys. All right. So sit back, relax, make a cup of tea. If you're listening from your car, your radio, I'm also gonna put this in a little MP3 format, but I have a little bit of a short for you today. So tonight, I am gonna do a segment, Café con Gas Thoughts, the top 10 men that you should give a chance to and go on a date with in Cambridge, Massachusetts. So if you don't know about Cambridge, Massachusetts, and you're finding Café con Gas online, or you're just not familiar with this area, or tuning in from a different place, Cambridge, Massachusetts is home to two major universities. These universities are Harvard University and MIT. So Harvard University and MIT are known for very different things, but some of the greatest political science programs. You have the Harvard Kennedy School, Harvard Graduate School of Education. You have the Harvard College, which is extremely difficult and competitive to get into. The employment rate as well to get a job into Harvard. There's a lower acceptance rate for employees than there are for student applicants. It is really hard to get into that space. So it's a space that's built up on exclusion, and then you have MIT, and you also have other hospitals and other residential teaching areas. Essentially, even if you talk to the gentleman at 7-Eleven at 11 a.m. in the corner of Central Square outside drooling, he will say something brilliant on the spectrum of intelligence. Everybody has their wits here. So in the spirit of top 10, here we go. I'm just going to start and preface by I have not dated all of the men on this list. Some of these are inspired by actual experiences that I've had, and some of these are not. So number one, okay, drum roll. All right, drum roll. As I listen, no particular order of importance, but just numerical. So number one, the surgical resident. If you can get your hands on him, it's always great for young women in this area to try to debunk the whole Grey's Anatomy myth. When you get closer to the surgeon, you realize that their neurosis is extremely high and makes their dating anxiety look like a walk in the park. The surgeon is really busy. If they're a resident, they're indentured to a hospital, meaning the hospital owns them, their time, their schedule, and pretty much their libido. So if you can get the surgeon to be with you after a 14-hour day, touching sick people and or cutting people open and doused in blood, good luck, because it'll take a while for him to come back around. So number one, the surgical resident. Again, I've actually had the opportunity to date one, and I watch Grey's Anatomy now, and I think to myself, wow, this is a great piece of fiction. All right, so number two. Number two is the entrepreneur. So the entrepreneur, sorry, I'm just laughing because this is taking me back. If you want a man who's at the house all the time, this is a really great man to have, but only if he's trying to make the initial public offering. If you get the entrepreneurship before the IPO, most likely you're dating a miserable man who's trying to build his empire but hasn't gotten there yet and tries to overcompensate for his masculinity in different ways. This may lead to symptoms like insecurity, constant appetite for sex, or just a man who is there too much of the damn time. Number two, the entrepreneur. So if any of you guys, the entrepreneur or the surgeon, happen to be watching, hello. I hope you're doing well. All right. Number three. Number three. The, excuse me, the computer scientist or engineer. Also, before I go into number three, because like I am right next to MIT and I don't want to cause too much controversy, you know, I mean, I do want to cause let me say it. This is what I don't want to do. I don't want to say any of these represent all men or all men in that profession, but this is my assessment. All right, so anyways, take it or leave it. Okay, so number three, the computer scientist engineer. To a dreamer like me, to a dreamer, this over-rigidly structure may seem really appealing. It may be a really welcome break from chaos. The engineer is exciting but extremely obsessive and keeps the working hours of a vampire. You're really not sure if you're dating a vampire or not until you see him during the day, but that actually may take a couple of weeks. So eye contact may not be a guarantee on the first date. There's usually a little bit of social awkwardness there. And, you know, if on a date, if he's gone to MIT, he may be a part of the burning scene, or he may invite you to reenact a Renaissance war scene wearing full armor in the MIT football field. You know, and also invite you to various forms of dance, to cheers to the computer science and engineer. Number four, the dancer. Have you guys dated a dancer? Have you had a crush on your dance instructor? Have you gone to Zumba and stared at your dancer's derriere for the whole time? The dancer is not for the weary or insecure. I would really caution, if you're weary or insecure, do not date the dancer. This man thrives off of being the center of attention. If you like being the center of attention, you're gonna have some competition unless you're in the center of attention with him. So date a ballroom dancer or something, or just watch Dancing with the Stars and fulfill your fantasy via TV show versus going through the real trials and tribulations. The dancer will inspire you and stretch you in ways that you can barely imagine, but this personal dancer may have difficulties entering spaces in your own life where he's not center stage. It may be the best intercourse that you have ever had, but perhaps with or without that intimacy. The dancer, he was special. Number five, the PhD student. I just don't want to discriminate against the surgical resident who's also a medical stool, but also the PhD student in general. So the PhD student, like the resident, may be in a state of indentured servitude. It's best to keep in touch or try your luck when they have become the doctor. See number one for more details. Number six, the I'm new to Boston guy. All right, so how many of you have met the I'm new to Boston guy? This dude uses this line to get into the pants of multiple women who, when they encounter him, they're just like, ooh, an explorer, this will be really great and new. He likes to get into the pants of as many women as possible. Now I'm really being biased because the I'm New to Boston guy can be completely shy, but the I'm New to Boston guy that I'm referring to was a little bit of everywhere. I found that out in time and moved on. But yeah, playing tourist with him can be really, really fun, but let's be real, you've been here, I was gonna just like curse right now. You've been here for a long time, and you know, it gets old kind of soon. All right, number 7, okay. Number seven is a real special one. Number 7 is the man on your dating app who offers to clean your house naked. This has happened to me before. If this does not happen to you, you need to call Café con Gas Live and I'm gonna help you how to arrange your profile. It doesn't even take like a boob pic or any nakedness. This man simply looks at your pictures and sends you overtly sexual messages on OkCupid, Bumble, Coffee Meets Bagel, any of the dating apps that you're on, but he sends you over because he thinks that he knows you just from 2D. And don't take it personally, but what I would recommend if you come across with the man who wants to clean your house naked, that you mess with him like you would a telemarketer. So that's number 7. All right, so I was just looking over. There's a lot of commotion in my peripheral, but we're doing well. All right, so I'm sorry, number 8. All right, number 8, drum roll. All right, so there's 8 and 9, but number 8, he's the bad boy. If you guys have not dated a bad boy, I actually be surprised if you dated a bad boy because they usually don't date, and that's the point. So watch out. Or if you're into it, great. But yeah, so, you know, the bad boy, not one to write home about, but maybe something in your arsenal, in your little OkCupid, you know, thing that's going on. You know, just make sure you have enough girls around you. And then finally, and let's be real, I put the final guy you should really date in Cambridge, and your partner, your potential partner, the guy where things click, where it's really not much of an effort to get together, but you still make time and you learn your different communication styles and you really just want to tap in and create something new. I haven't met him yet, but in the spirit of healing arts and diversity, let me offer you a little bit of a creative tip. I still, the same way you would write a letter to your boss or someone if you were angry just to get out your feelings, I write a letter to my potential partner. And in that letter I say, are you looking for me just as much as I'm looking for you? Oh, everything is things are getting a little bit hard. And I just play around with that and really just embrace that possibility. So I hope you're embracing the possibility with yourself. And I hope you enjoyed Café con Gas's Pensamientos/Thoughts tonight on Cambridge Community Television. I am going to close this out with there's 2 things that I really want to play. All right, so I'm going to close this out with a little bit of music from Carnival. Carnival season's starting in the Caribbean. If you don't know what Carnival is, ask a friend or Google it. So I'm going to play some music. And Carnival is a celebration. They had Carnival in Brazil recently. And this is some Carnival from El Caribe. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to leave you with this. Have a great night. And thank you so much for tuning in to Café con Gas.